Now, they equally said that, I mean, one of the reasons is because you once dated a Nigerian. I think that was even a video. I don't know if you saw it, where you were talking about these Nigerian, how you love Nigerians very much. And so the belief is because of the heartbreak. That's the reason why you are targeting them.
Do you have TikTok right now? Do you have access to TikTok?
Yes, I do. Want me to
Okay,
check?
go on TikTok now and search for a lady. Her name is Refilwe. So
R.
it's REF
EF.
ILOE
RIOE.
JAW. So space. Now I'm saying her surname JAWA,
Okay.
and then you can search.
Okay. Ha. I love Nigerian music. I love Nigerian people. I love Nigerian men. If I had to marry a South African man, I would cheat on him with a Nigerian man. Mama. Baby, it's your daddy.
Hmm. Okay, yeah. She looks like you, yes? Oh yeah.
No, in that one video, she looks like me, but she doesn't look like me. She's not me.
The video, yes. Yeah, the video.
So that is the owner of that account. It's not me. I've never dated a Nigerian. I will never date a Nigerian. It's really a preference, And right now I'm married, so there's no desire to even look at a Nigerian or another man. So they must stop fooling themselves with this thing of me having dated a Nigerian. Honestly, I don't even know who found this video or decided that they must make a trend and claim that this lady is me, but it's definitely not me.
Okay, yeah, of course. Now,
And you're looking at the proof yourself, right?
yes, I have. I'm shocked, to be honest. Wow, one could literally mistake her in this video to be you. Yes.
People are shocked that, oh my gosh, how did you do that? Because everyone is so scared to do or say anything about it. It's a very, very bad system that we have.
Okay, very well. Now that you mention Nigerians, they always ask me questions like, why is she so particular about us? I think I know most definitely you've seen a couple of videos where Nigerian senators, they did say, even the Nigerian Minister of Foreign Affairs, she was like, you South Africans are very much ungrateful because Nigerians came through, they helped you during the apartheid era, not just with money, but they issued passports. Some South Africans were exiled to Nigeria. They were warmly received. South Africans studied in Nigerian schools and they were given a very good treatment. So they do not understand why you are so particular about them. Do you want to explain?
I don't think any South African would fail to answer that. It's not just a Jacinta thing, and I don't want Nigerians to keep lying to themselves and thinking this is just about me having a problem with them. Nah. I think majority of the people in the country are fed up with Nigerians. We have had enough of their attitude, their crimes, their behavior in this country, their provocation, because they continuously provoke the citizens of this country as well. And I just wish Nigerians living in Nigeria could sit this one out because they don't know what we get to experience in our country because of Nigerians. And, I think if they're also being honest with themselves, they mustn't act as though it's South Africa, the only country that is tired of Nigerians. There's a pattern around the world, with people having Nigerians, because we all know that to Nigerians, getting out of their own country is an achievement, becoming citizens of another country is an achievement. In South Africa, we don't have that kind of attitude here. Nigerians are even going to courts to demand to get South African documentation because they want to live in the country by fire or by force. And besides that, it's not just about them wanting to be in our country so badly. It's what they do when they're in our country. They don't love South Africa at all. They don't love South Africa. In fact, sometimes it feels like Nigerians hate this country and would do anything to see us fail and be destroyed. Um, we know they hate South Africa, and always brag about abusing South African women and mistreating them and so forth. And so I don't get why this is a one-sided reflection on things. I mean, I was reading a report in 1994 the other day. or from 1994 rather, from the South African Parliament, where they were reflecting on the fact that in Parliament, the National Party at the time, which was a political party, was complaining about Nigerians entering into the country with drugs. So as early as 1994, the second we got our democracy, Nigerians were already coming in to provide drugs because the system had been dismantled from before, making it easier for them to continue their things here. Before, during apartheid, they weren't able to bring in drugs the way that they do prostitution, whatever. I mean, everywhere they go, they take over places and start calling them Nigeria or Lagos or whatever, you know. And there's a lot of disrespect that we get from Nigerians. And, you know, if the people of Nigeria want to position themselves as victims, they can go ahead. But if they're being honest with themselves, they're not the victims in all of this. They are the instigators. They are the ones that are bringing in the worst of the worst criminals into our country.
Point. So what we're doing as much, like I tried to explain to you, we're going to meet with ministers. We meet with the government. We meet with premiers of provinces. We meet with the police. We meet with officials. We even take our concerns to parliament. That's why we mingle with political parties, right? Because remember, we're not in parliament, but political parties are in parliament. So when we have a complaint, we take it to a political party to raise in parliament, right? That's why we have to have a relationship.
These are the same good Nigerians, as you call it, that you say take the job of an HOD.
You don't. You
no,
don't,
I'm just saying.
In South Africa, we've got Nigerians who are doctors, right?
Yes,
who are providing a scarce skill.
Yes,
which is something we applaud.
Okay, so you're okay with that?
Why
but
wouldn't
I
because, be okay
no,
with
hold
that?
on, because you said earlier that jobs were South Africans were being discriminated.
You don't understand. I was explaining what the law says.
The law
says
that you must employ South African first.
Listen to what I'm saying. There's IT specialists that come from outside of South Africa that are providing skill that no South African has.
Correct.
The law allows that. It's perfectly fine. I'm saying we can't afford ordinary doctors like entry-level doctors to not have jobs because we're taking entry-level doctors without any special skill from outside of South Africa. That's my point that I'm trying to make, because I'm quoting exactly what the law says, and the law is not wrong to say that, because you don't want to close out opportunities for your own people who don't have anywhere else to go but to this country.
Home is home.
That's my point that I'm trying to say, because for example, if we've got teachers, currently we've got so many Zimbabwean teachers that are not in this country, right? And when you follow,
you have many Zimbabwean teachers in South Africa, right?
Yes, I'll give you the numbers. Yes. I don't have them right now. Please remind me to give you all of this.
Don't worry, I'll send you a message.
So we've got a lot of Zimbabwean teachers, but we've got a high unemployment of teachers. You understand my point? And that is why
and that's local authority. Are the teachers not employed by local authority?
We're not denying that.
No,
that's where you keep
even all the Chinese.
But that's why you keep missing my point. I'm repeating the point. You see here, we are in Chinese shops. That's me. You can see me personally dealing there with Chinese and Pakistanis and Somalians. I'll look for more of them.
I'm waiting for it to download.
And I'll show you. So what I'm trying to say is that it's not a skin color thing. It's a are you documented thing. And the reason there's more black people who are undocumented is because more of them are coming in undocumented. You understand? And as you can see, those Malawians that are over there, they can't afford to live here. Do you understand? So where are they going to live? They're going to live in those poor communities where there's poor black people. So they're the ones that are going to be complaining about them being getting what they need. Because remember, when those Malawians are going to hospitals, I'm talking about those particular ones, because
the ones outside,
they go to hospitals where there's other black people. So who ends up not having medication, which is something we've been suffering from all along now. There's not enough medication. There's not enough beds. There is not enough space for people to go. So you can't make it seem as if this is a race thing. It's a struggle for resources, which is what I always say. And South Africa does not have enough resources for South Africans. Then comes Malawians who are having problems with their own governments. We understand they're poor, they're sad, and all of that. But now
It's not white people that are going to be suffering when they don't have beds in hospitals. White people are fine. They don't have to deal with them. They're the ones that probably even keep them and treat them like slaves and make them work 10 hours or 15 hours a day and pay them 100 rand. You know, white people are the ones that are benefiting from those Malawians. But look at where they are now, displaced, because they don't have money to go home. Who is not paying them the money? The people that are employing them. So this is exactly what we're saying, that we cannot have a system that glorifies modern day slavery just because we're saying it's black people. It can't be. Because remember, those same white people that you guys are saying we must fight against are the same white people. They come here and they worship and they treat like gods while we're trying to fight them for a minimum wage. How do you think we're going to get the minimum wage if they're the ones going to white people? And always spoken about with documents. But I do feel like people who want to make this about a skin thing are being disingenuous. Because obviously if we're in Africa, majority of people that come to South Africa are African because it's one continent. So it's easier to come to South Africa from another African country.
But does anybody ask the white people in South Africa? Is it every white person in South Africa or every non-black person in South Africa that has their papers?
But you see, that's what you don't understand. Much is not going to go to areas where white people are and advocate for white people. We're not a voice for white people.
No, I'm not saying advocate.
I'm trying to make you understand how we end up it looking like black on black.
Right.
So remember, we are black people. We are in black people areas. We talk about things that affect black people. So tuck shops and these killings of children wasn't happening with white people. It was happening to us as black people, right? So when we advocate for those children that have passed away, we don't care whether it's being done by pink, orange, or green people. We care about the source of the problem. So if the source of the problem is Pakistanis, Somalians, Ethiopians, and whatever, that's who we're going to deal with. Right now, we go to these factories that are exploiting people, that are working overnight and doing that. Those are Chinese. We still don't say, oh no, you're Chinese.
Have you been to Chinese factories?
Several times. Several times. I can even show you pictures of myself going to Chinese shops with the police.
Please share them with me when
I'll show you now. Yeah. So we go there with the police. We say, like, okay, these people are undocumented. We've dealt with plenty of Pakistanis, Somalians who don't have documents. It's not an issue of just black people and us fighting with black people as some people like to perpetuate. It's absolutely not. Like I keep saying, this issue is not an issue of skin color. It's an issue of documents.
But it's black people that are mostly being affected, Jacinta.
Well, that's because it's majority of them that are here undocumented. There's nothing we can do about that.
Answers. Let me respond to the colleague from Nigeria. Firstly, there isn't any formal, I hope you can listen because I see somebody's disrupting and she has asked questions for us to answer. If you would like to confirm, we've checked with DECO, they do not have such correspondence. So there isn't anything formally communicated, nothing. So we have verified. Secondly, I don't think Minister Nchabeni needs to issue any apology because when she stood and spoke as a minister, she was speaking on behalf of South Africans, giving feedback on some of the issues. Let's start with the issue of payments, claiming. And her context was that you can't provide compensation when a person cannot provide legal basis of acquiring the assets. That was what she said. No legal basis of acquiring of assets. Actually, I'm responsible as the minister for 2 entities in justice that actually recover assets as proceeds of crime. If you are here in the country illegally and you've acquired assets, those are classified under proceeds of crime because in terms of a legal standing, you shouldn't have. So they fall under asset forfeiture unit, and they go into CARA. We use that money to actually fight crime and support victims in this country. It's within our laws. So what we stand and speak on as ministers is on the basis of South African laws.
But what she said wasn't really South African law. Sorry. Maybe I'm being misrepresented. I flew all the way to here.
No. My dear, one thing, what is going to help us first,
is respect for each other. Respect for the office that we occupy, because we are ministers of the state. I don't think there's any South African journalist or any South African citizen that will disrespect your sitting minister or a government official. It's not done, and it must never be done. So I thought I should literally say that. And I deliberately took this opportunity to clarify as the chair of the IMC, because the work that we do, it's in multifaceted approach. One,
urgently. Madam Minister of Justice, that is a quote directly, and that quote was made by your colleague a week ago at some briefing. I can't remember which one it was in particular. And again, I have to reiterate, given the close relationship with our two countries, given the sensitivity of the time right now, given the fact that everybody, and I believe everybody in this room and on that panel, is doing their very best to douse the tensions, given the work that you, Madam Minister of Justice, has done to actually douse the tension. I remember seeing your press conference about South African artists having their work cancelled, being booked abroad and being cancelled, and trying to calm everybody down. Given all of that, indeed, given that President Ramaphosa has also done his best to douse the tensions, again, I will come back to Madam Minister of Justice and Minister of Presidency. Do you think the statement you made, and if you want me to read it again, I will, is helpful to your country, to your president, to the work that your colleagues have been doing, indeed to the work that everybody here has been doing, to the work that the NGO have been doing? I interviewed Mr. Baloy a week ago, in June when I was here. The good work that he's been doing, and indeed the work everybody has been doing to ensure that we find a collaborative way beyond this moment. Do you think making statements like that is smart? And again, I ask, would you like to apologize to Nigerians? Because I'm a Nigerian sitting in front of you, and I can assure you that I don't do drugs. Neither does my father, neither do my friends. Neither, in fact, the vast majority of Nigerians here are doctors. Let me finish, please. I've asked the question, but I have to state this. Nigerians are doctors. Nigerians are immigration lawyers. Nigerians do all sorts of other things, but you chose to talk about drugs. Why?
Thank you very much.
No, they will call for the hand.
That's fine. I put my hand up.
I'm going to appeal to you again.
I am being...
To respect me as the Minister of the Republic of South Africa. Please. You are here to interact with us. Please, we are appealing to you. So, the chair of the session will call another round of questions where you can take your more questions. We are currently answering. Now, when you disrupt us while we are answering your question, it's not helpful at all. And I want to reiterate, we appeal because South Africa has not, and it's not actually in this point. Any attacks or anything has not been done sanctioned by this government. Secondly, is that when anyone has been killed, whether they are South Africans or non-South Africans, the police does investigation. We actually have a very strong justice system where investigations are done, where people are arrested, and therefore people then are prosecuted and do serve sentences. Our judiciary in this country is independent, doesn't get influenced by politicians, doesn't get influenced by those who have power or even money. So you can be rest assured when matters appear before our judiciary, they're evaluated and they're dealt. And I deliberately took this opportunity to clarify as the chair of the IMC, because the work that we do, it's in multifaceted approach. One, in terms of law enforcement, in terms of fighting crime and corruption. Fortunately, I'm also the chair of JCPS, which is a crime justice cluster that involves all other departments. So I want to reiterate as South African government that currently we do not have, once we have a legal basis or a document that is submitted to us, we will definitely appropriately respond to anyone. But I want to urge, sitting here, since that you are saying you flew here, that it doesn't help for all countries to attack South Africa unwarranted. We will have to defend ourselves as a country and defend South Africans as their elected representatives. We have that obligation as ministers. So we want to urge, as I said, if you remember our first, I don't know if you've started to follow us, our first media briefing on the 14th, we reflected that in our Lindela repatriation center, we gave a number of Nigerian nationals that the embassy was not confirming their departure because they've been sitting there for more months after completing sentences in our prison. It's a record, and we want to appreciate the embassy for responding after our visit to Lindela. Because after that, there were two countries that we raised as a concern, and that was raised through DECO, formally in writing previously, and we then announced that we've got this number of nationals. There were two countries that we're battling with, that they were not arriving at Lindela, because for us to be able to deport them, those individuals, after their sentences, is that their country of origin must confirm their nationality. And we were not getting cooperation in that regard. So we want to appreciate that cooperation we have received, and we are continuing with the deportation. And all other matters will be dealt with through diplomatic channel. Minister Lamola, as our chief diplomat, will be able to engage with his counterpart, the embassy, on any other matter. Should there be a complaint from the Nigerian government against South Africa, we will be gladly to respond through the appropriate channel. I do not think that the SPET are helpful to the African continent, nor our bilateral relations. So that's what I want to say in that regard. Then in relation, I think Minister of Police has responded to the...
I also want to engage in a conversation with the journalist from Al Jazeera and the journalist from Nigeria. We have a crisis in this country that is accumulated over time, arising out of illegal immigration. This is an issue being raised by South African people, by our citizens. What is the responsibility of a democratic elected government? The first responsibility, it's to listen and respond to the issues being raised by our people. You ask, in the midst of this crisis, why we are not responding, we are not announcing a general amnesty. Clearly, you haven't ever had the responsibility to govern a country. The government didn't set the deadline. That deadline was announced by civil society groups. The government made it very clear in our response that there is no such deadline. But we are responding to the concerns raised by our people as detailed, substantially detailed in the response of the IMC communicated by the chair of the IMC. And we're going to do that. We have to do that. That's our duty, our responsibility. people should not be in this country illegally. And for you to point out that there are weaknesses in the migration system, which we are trying to strengthen, only strengthens the case for the government's comprehensive response. We should not be represented as some kind of tyranny, a dictatorial government that is responding in an uncaring way. In fact, that comprehensive plan demonstrates that we are saying to our people, in the midst of this crisis, we understand your anger, but we want you to adhere to the basic morality embodied in our Constitution, to the rule of law. That has been the message of this government. I cannot accept the implication, the implied criticism in your question. Now, to the Nigerian journalist, thank you for your questions, and I can also hear your anger. You referred to 4 cases. We don't look at the nationality of the victim. So I think that insinuation was improper. Now, you're also critical of one of the ministers, a minister in the presidency on this platform, because you say quite rightly that this is a sensitive moment and that we should all be acting in a responsible way to reduce the tensions. That is a two-way street. There is a lot of misinformation and inflammatory rhetoric being directed at this government. We need to have a respectful conversation with our partners, with our sister countries on the African continent, about the terms of migration into what is a sovereign territory of South Africa. We have to be able to have that conversation. South Africa was the last country on our continent to achieve its independence as a sovereign territory of the South African people that has a commitment to Pan-African unity. The decolonization project on our continent produced independent nation states, starting with Ghana in 1957. What does it mean to have a continent made up of sovereign states that also form part of the Organization of African Unity? We need to be able to have that conversation in order to ensure that our continent is united, that it prospers, that our countries are well governed, and that they are all committed to the well-being of their own peoples. That is what we, the last country on the African continent to be liberated, to achieve its independence, that's the conversation we are asking to have with you. So if you say you want to have a respectful conversation, you want to reduce the tensions, I agree with you. But that's a two-way street. We have seen a lot of inflammatory rhetoric on social media, and I would not exclude the political leadership of some countries. And I understand their concerns as well. So please convey the message to your citizens and to your leaders as well, that that is the sentiment that you experienced in South Africa. We, in this country, we supported all the teams, African teams in the World Cup. We're not confused about our identity and where we stand on important matters concerning our mutual interest. Thank you.